Today I just decided to have a break of the kind of videos that we are used to, and I just decided to look at or to comment on the death of Osinanchi, who is a gospel artist in Nigeria, and she passed away at the age of 42. She has a very angelic voice. If you want to do worship, it is her songs that you just listen to. A very beautiful woman. So may God rest her soul in eternal peace. So she passed away on Friday, and according to the Punch newspaper, a lot of people said a lot of things about the cause of her death. Some of them said she died of throat cancer and she had been on life support for 2 months. But those allegations have been like thrown out of balance as being untrue by some of the people that are close to her. So there are allegations that have come up that says that she passed on because of issues of her marriage, and a lot of people are really reacting on that issue so emotionally. We have a lot of people that have said a lot of things. There's the gospel artist Frank Edward, who already had posted on Instagram, writing how the news were sad, but I don't want to focus on his post because he already deleted it. But he was talking around the issues of the cause of death being because of domestic violence. So I want to just like focus on one particular post that caught my attention, and it's from actress and co-founder of Rock TV channels. That is Nwachukwu. I like the lady because she's just a model. So Nwachukwu wrote this. I just want to read in full what she said, and it's in the Punch newspaper, as you can see. So she said this: your pastor will not die with you when he, or into brackets, abusive husband kills you. Your family and friends will blame you for leaving, and when you are dead, blame you for staying. Run for your life. You deserve to be alive. Not all marriages are ordained by God. The God you serve cannot ordain your perpetual torture. Some spouses are demons in human form. Don't let anyone confuse you with Bible quotes till he kills you. I am still shaken by the news of her death. I am angry. And I can say I'm just equally angry because, I mean, if you are a man and you are married to a woman that you know you can't deal with as a sister, please, forget it. You don't have to be around her life. And if you are a woman and you can see you are living with a man that threatens your existence, please, you don't have to be there. And there's a video that will be coming tomorrow that I have already, I wanted to post it today, but I decided, let me look at what this news around Osinanchi are all about, because I thought it was like more of related to about what I wanted to say tomorrow. And it's about what will people say. Every time women keep getting afraid of what will people say, but they forget that they also have a life to live, you know. And you know, people don't talk. If one leaves marriage, it's not like people talk for so long. People talk, and after some time the talking ends. So it is important for you as a woman to know that all those family and friends, they will never be there for you. They will never be there for your children. They will never be there for you at that particular point when your life has been taken out of this world by anyone. So I feel very disappointed with this kind of news, because there is a lot of these kind of things happening to the women that are not as successful as Osinanchi. Everybody is angry about Osinanchi because we know her, but there are so many women that we don't know that are going through a lot of things like this. But if you are a man and you think you have the power to take away the life of a woman, please think twice, because you are not the giver of that life. Then there were some people that really meant some other posts that really gave us made us think that it is true, that it could be that she lost her life because of domestic violence. For now we are saying they're just allegations because we've not been able to know the real cause, but there's a lot of anger around this, and it's very clear that it's true. It could be true. That's what I can say. So there was another post that was posted by someone else who said, your death is Joanne Gomba. She said, she said, your death should teach women and men to live abusive relationships before they die. This is sad. To be honest, it's so sad. But there are some other people that made a lot of posts, and one of the posts that stood out for me that even made me so angry that I wanted to do this video is one of these pastors. One pastor said this, and the name of this pastor is called Pastor Newman. And I went to his Facebook account and I saw that he says purity is possible. And he's been said as is an author of, I think should be a book of Purity is Possible. And this is somebody, a pastor who is into relationship and marriage coaching, coordinator of Watchers International. And this is a man that has a lot of following, up to the tune of almost 52 million people. He comes from Umode village, I should guess that is how it is pronounced, in Aba, Owerri, Nigeria. And I was shocked by his post. It really thrilled my whole body. I couldn't read it. I don't know, I couldn't fathom how a pastor would go online and write something like this. And this is what he said: she suffered and died in the Lord. Away from the criticism surrounding her death, whether she should have left the marriage or not, we don't know what God told her. And I kept asking myself when I read this, when he said we don't know what God told her, and I was like, what can God be telling you when you are suffering? I don't know what he wanted to imply on this particular statement, but he went ahead and said, whether God asked her to remain in the marriage or not will only be revealed in eternity. And I was shocked that somebody could just sit down and write something like this. Can God tell you to remain in suffering? Surely, can he? It's just, I don't know how to say about this, but I'm really so sad. And he went ahead and say, someone would say, God cannot say that. And actually, that is what I'm also saying myself. Really? Well done, Jehovah classmate. And I'm just like, what is this? Brethren, that was our own cup of suffering. And I'm like, God, Jesus Christ, when Jesus came to this world, he died. God cannot give us his only son as a sacrifice. And Jesus will die for us. And we will suffer in the hands of men to death. That is contradiction. So I felt so sad when I saw this post, and I was like, is this man really telling us that she suffered this because she needed to, or I don't know exactly what he wanted to say. And he continued to say, for everyone has his own portion of suffering for the sake of Christ. Okay. So now what this pastor is saying, up to there, is that when you suffer in a marriage that is abusive, a fellow man with flesh and blood like you, and when God tells us we are all equal before him, that another fellow man should cause you to suffer until you die. You see, these are the kind of pastors that have caused so many deaths of so many women that it makes me so angry. Because he has no reason to even post something like this. And he went ahead to say, if you dodge your own cup of suffering, you may not receive the well done reward. I'm just so pissed off by the way these pastors, I don't know why he went ahead and typed something like this. So now, this pastor, what now, in short, what made me so angry is because I thought he was just encouraging this. He was trying to clean it up, to sanitize it, so that it can look lesser evil. I don't understand why he spoke like this. But Nigerians didn't wait for him. They went and blasted him online. Even though he had said he had removed that post, I still see it on his own Facebook account. After Nigerian came raining on him, because a lot of people were so angry by this post of this pastor. And he was very arrogant, my goodness. And these are the kind of pastors that I believe have really encouraged so much domestic violence, not just in Nigeria, but in any other. It could have happened in any other country, So there is so much hypocrisy among these men of God, and they are the ones that are close to people, families, especially people that go to their followers. Anytime they have domestic issues, they run to their pastors. But their pastors, because they don't want to lose the message that they give people is the message of you should stay in marriage. So they don't want to be seen as people that encourage people to leave each other, which is very wrong, They don't give the people the word of God from a realistic standpoint, because there is no way in the Bible where God tells you suffer until you die, that is your cup. There is nothing like that. And these are the people that have really meant women to suffer so much in the hands of men that are probably could even be having mental health issues. And for the men that know that they cannot handle the success of women, Because if you read the story, if you go, you can just look at some of the things that people are posting, and you can see the anger, the friends, what they are saying about their husband. It's just so sad. And it's because people don't want to be associated with failure. If you watch our next video, you will see what we are talking about when it comes to dealing with failure. All these people that are preaching the gospel want to portray a perfect life. They are living a perfect life. And the pastors are also not looking at a more realistic way of making sure that all these problems are solved when they need to be solved. You keep telling somebody to pray for a human being. And we know that the way God works in us, we have to invite him into our hearts. And so that he can work within our hearts. So if you're telling a woman to pray for a man that is not ready to open up his heart for God to come in, how do you expect that to work out? Because now it is when people lose their lives like this, everybody is so angry, they feel so devastated. But there are people who live around those, who were around this lady that knew she was going through a lot of things. The family knew. There is no way the family didn't know. And then the people out here, the society is so judgmental. I'm just imagining if she had left that marriage, what would people have said? Would they have still continued to follow her music? Would they have still thought that purity that they were getting out of her music, would they have still continued to just give her the attention? It's just for everybody, it's not something for one person. Not just the pastors, it's also the society itself. The way we are structured to think in Africa about marriage, as if it's a death or do affair. When people don't want to get into relationships because it's good for them, it's for companion's sake, for what God designed it for. You just want to get into relationships for the wrong reasons. And that is what makes people so angry. So it is until somebody loses life, then you see them say, why didn't she leave? This is somebody that should have left. Why didn't he? So everybody is blaming this lady. But if she had left, like I would say, what Mary said, Mary Njoku, if she had left, people would have still talked. But now you as an individual, as a lady, you need to look out for yourself. Because these things, you can't live. Life is just once, and once you've lost it, doesn't come back like that. So whether people are judging you or not, they are just men. There are men whose brains are not structured to be sympathetic or to be empathetic. They are just structured to damage. And these are the kind of men that women should should look themselves out of, because you don't need such people in your life. You don't need to care what people say about you being married or not. It shouldn't be something that should even... Marriage is not what defines someone. And you know, that is why in the African society, a lot of people have lost life. Now, if she had... I don't know if she had young children or not. How will those kids grow up? All these things are already in the social media, that she lost at 42, she's too young. She had a career, you know, like she was somebody that was trying to administer to people the word of God in her own ways. She was trying her best, I mean. And it's sad if somebody took her life, you know. If these allegations are really true, my goodness, it is sad. I read that I just like, I don't want to say so much about it, but I just read that the husband used to control every single money she made. He controlled every single thing, any events that she attended and anything that she did. I don't know whether that is true or not, and that's why I didn't want to really cover that. But if that is true, it is so devastating. It is so devastating, because there are some people who don't know how to focus on making their own money. As men, if their women are making money, they want to manage that money that the woman is making. It's not right. You wouldn't want your own money to be managed by anybody, so don't manage anybody's money. And it's bad for men to think that they own women. Nobody owns anybody. We are all human beings, equal before God, created by God's own likeness, and we deserve to be treated well. So I don't want to say so much. I'm just angry about this video. Please click the like button. Wait for our tomorrow's video, and please subscribe so that you can get more of these kind of updates, and also any breaking news that contribute something to our life. So please subscribe and watch out for the next video. Thanks.